Hi, my name is Savannah, and for those of you who don't know who I am the founder of Love Your Body Now, and we are a brand that promotes body positive fitness and self love. And we sell apparel, host a podcast, events, workshops, and a couple of other things that are coming to the brand. But I wanted to start this vlog series, I guess, like behind the scenes of my business because I've been wanting to do this for a while now, and I've had the YouTube channel for probably like a little over 2 years now. I started the YouTube channel back when I was doing online health coaching. And if you've been with me since 2022 or even back to like 2020, I've my business and like what I've been doing has evolved so much, and now I'm at a point in my business where things really feel like good. They feel aligned. But if you have ever started a business before, or maybe you've like started businesses and they've evolved as you like grow and change as a person and like just like learn lessons and gain clarity, then you know that like things just change as you go along. And I'm at a point in my business now where I just really want to start documenting my progress and where I'm at. And I just want to be able to look back on how far I've come with it, but also to show other business owners who are kind of like maybe in this season as me, because for me, I really value finding people on like YouTube. Like I watch a couple of business owners, their YouTube channels, and when they vlog and show behind the scenes stuff, and some of them have like a really successful business. And I specifically watch a lot of product-based businesses since I have an apparel business. But it sometimes can like sometimes I love watching them because they're so successful, and it's just like I can't wait to get to that point in my business. But then there's a part of me who is like, dang, like I have so much to learn and so far to go before I ever get to a point of like having regular sales every single day. That's why I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be the person that starts this vlog series and just like sharing my behind the scenes and where I'm at right now in my journey for other people who want someone else to relate to and maybe feel like they just like need to know there are other people out there who haven't had their like big success story yet. Of course, all of that is subjective on how you view success, and I honestly believe that I've gone through every season of my personal journey and my business journey, like all of the things that I've learned. I feel like it's all for a reason. And I know that when the time comes to where like my business is bigger than what I could have imagined, all of those seasons that I went through were worth it and were there for a reason. Like I needed to learn certain things in order to get to the next step, in order to be able to handle the type of success that I want with my business. And I think that that's important to recognize when you're going through it with your own business and maybe you're not really seeing a lot of success yet. And I guess the way I'm defining success right now is like revenue coming in and like sales happening. I wanted to just document where I'm at and as I go, so that if you want to come along with me as I go through my own journey and find new ways to expand my business, because I have so many ideas for 2025, which the time of this recording is September 2024. I just like have so many ideas that I want to integrate into my business model and start doing. And I'm like, you know what, like I really want to document this. Like I want to be able to look back on this and see how far I've come. and just like watch my growth, and of course like be that person for someone else, like that, you know, showing them that like we aren't all this huge success story yet, but we can show up every single day, still show up for our business, still get excited about it even if it's like not where we want it to be yet, and enjoy everything in the process. Okay, so I want to give you a little bit of like some context of where I was before and where I am right now with my business, just in case you haven't been following along with me. So like I mentioned before, I really got into, I guess, like the whole wanting to have my own business back in 2020. And I actually started learning about business and marketing and sales when I joined an MLM. And I know that like MLMs sometimes get a bad rap, but here's what I'll say about my experience. I learned so much about business, marketing, sales in that season of my life. And I was partnered with like a health and fitness business. So it was like right up my alley. Like I still really enjoyed it because I was able to like focus on my own fitness journey, learn a lot about like health and nutrition and exercise and workouts, which I already had an exercise science degree and like came from sports and a fitness background. So like it was all like up my alley. And it was the first time like I got to experience, like I didn't know anything about sales, marketing, business. Like I didn't have any exposure to that growing up. Like I don't have any family members that had their own business. I didn't even consider it for college because it just was something I was never exposed to. So I didn't even really know anything about it. And even in college, like I didn't learn anything about it. I just did my exercise science degree. I was originally going to go into physical therapy, and that was what I was going to do. And it didn't all plan out that way. And so when I was doing this, like direct sales business thing, I just like soaked up all of the information and trainings that I could, and it just like it forced me to get out of my comfort zone and implement the things that they taught, and just like really like experience the things and learn from them. So my experience with that was a starting point for me of like realizing that I could do more for my life than just the 9 to 5, which if you want to do that with your life, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I didn't even know like it was an option not to do that. So that was the first time that I was really exposed to that, and really started to ask myself like what I wanted out of my life and basically like my career. I am really grateful for that experience, and eventually it led to me experimenting, building my own courses and programs, and trying to do like health coaching on my own, which I actually was certified in health coaching. So I was qualified to be able to do stuff like that, and it was all online. And so I was experimenting with like building my own program for people and selling like coaching packages, and that also was a really great learning experience, and it really helped me nail down the mission behind what I wanted to do. It really helps me figure out the brand that I wanted to create. At the time, like coaching just really wasn't something that I enjoyed. I did work with a few clients and like sold like a group coaching package, which was super cool. And like it was a super interesting, like I learned so much from that, of course, but I just realized that like I didn't really feel lit up when it came to like coaching people, but I loved educating people on like the things that I learned about the fitness industry, and like just from my own personal journey through like tying health and fitness and making it a positive experience rather than what we typically know health and fitness to be, which is like women struggling with their body image and weight loss and trying to like do all these things to look a certain way, and it just didn't resonate with me. And that's really where like my brand started to form, like building that message and building that brand for people. But it was just like not really feeling right in the coaching realm. So I had actually kind of like taken a step back and ended up deciding to do like start a podcast instead. So it was like I was getting to educate and speak the things that I wanted to talk about without having to like work with someone one on one, which I'm not going to say that I'll never do that again. It just at the time like didn't feel super aligned, and it kind of like was draining for me mentally. But that also could have just been because I was, trying to find clients and trying to find people to work with me. And that's also like an energy drainer sometimes if you like don't have a big following or access to a lot of new people funneling into your system. So I was like learning all about that. I was learning all about email marketing and funnels and like sales campaigns. So I still learned like a ton from that time. But eventually I transitioned into like starting my podcast, which was not meant to like make money or anything. It was just like an outlet for me to still talk about the things that I was passionate about without the stress of trying to make sales and find clients. So I started the Love Your Body Now podcast. And then after that, like it was all like within the same time span, I started making like t-shirt designs about the brand, like the mission of the brand basically. And that started with like a print on demand type of deal where it was just like I was just getting to design some stuff, and I'd like throw it up on like a mock-up photo, and then I would just put it out there, and if people bought, then it was just like all handled by the print on demand service. Like I didn't have any involvement in that. But it was like the idea of owning my own like t-shirt business and like creating all of that was really scary and overwhelming to me, because again, it wasn't something that I was ever exposed to. I didn't even know where to start. Like I didn't even know the difference between screen printing and DTF and all of those terms. Like all of that seems so overwhelming to me. So it really held me back in taking steps to actually like making my own shirts and doing it myself. But then there was this instance that happened where someone had ordered one of my designs to the print on demand companies, and they ended up receiving a sweatshirt that was not even anything that I offered or designed. And it really like upset me a lot because I just was like so upset that that had happened. And fortunately, this was at a time, and it still is, like this is like the season I am in with my business, where a lot of my orders come from people that I know either on a personal level, or I knew them like from a few years ago, or like we know of each other. So like anytime anything has happened where it was like not a smooth customer experience, I was actually like super, super grateful that it happened when it did, because it's like, okay, well, at least this person knows who I am. They know like my character, and they know that like I hate that that happened, and like I would do anything to try and make the experience right. So those are like little things that, in hindsight, it's like I'm really glad that my business is going slowly, like the growth of it is going slowly, so I can work out those kinks early on and it doesn't happen at a bigger scale. So when that happened, that was kind of like me realizing, okay, like if I'm going to do this apparel business, I need to have more control of what's going on. And so I started looking into like vendors in my area rather than first like taking on making the shirts myself. Because again, I was still really intimidated by that process. And so I was able to find a vendor in my area and started working with him for a little while, and it was fine. I actually was able to like ask him questions about stuff like making shirts that I feel like I needed to kind of better understand. So that was helpful. I don't use him anymore just because it is kind of an inconvenience for me to he's not that like his location isn't that far from where I am at, but where I'm at, like the traffic's really bad. So, and I don't hold a lot of inventory. That's the other thing. I'm not in a season of my business yet where I order a certain amount of inventory to have on hand. I actually order it as it's like the order's placed. Like sometimes I'll have like my designs ready to go. Like I have an inventory of those basically, or a stock of those. But like the sweatshirts, the t-shirts, all of those things, I usually just like order them when I get an order placed. Which I know is probably not the best for your business model, but it is really like it gives me peace of mind and just like allows me to not stress so much about investing that much into the business and not really knowing if you're going to sell that many things. And I have purchased stuff before, like to have like more inventory on hand. So I do have some stuff that's like I have on hand, but I have just learned that like I don't feel ready to take that step yet until I have more data when it comes to my sales within my shop. So that's like kind of like the season I'm in right now. And I didn't ever really find anyone online where I was trying to like look up and see if people actually did that for their business, where they just like purchase the items as they go. And so that was kind of like something I was hung up on for a while, because I was like, is this like, are you allowed to do this in your business? But then I realized, you know what, like I'm allowed to run my business however I want in the way that works best for me. So the thing that I did was I just put on my website and like on the products that it will take like X amount of days or up to X amount of days for processing and for your orders to ship. So that covers me on that basis. Like if someone places an order, you know, it could take up to 7 to 10 business days before you actually receive your order, just because again, I'm ordering things as orders are coming in, and it's not like I just have all of the items on hand all the time. That's not always ideal, because then I'm like paying for shipping to bring in the item. So it does cut into my profits basically, but I'm just at a point right now where it's like I need more exposure than anything else, and like just to like have my brand build up its credibility. So making tons of money in my business right now is not really my main goal, if that makes sense. And that might sound kind of dumb, but it's like this is just the season that I'm in right now, and I have to like meet myself where I'm at and do what works for me right now. And I know that like my business isn't in a season yet to where it's bringing in like constant revenue, and I am seeing all of this like revenue come in, but it's enough revenue per order to like, it's not like I'm negative or anything like that. So yeah, I share that because I tried to find other people who have like apparel businesses that did it that way, to like almost like give myself permission to do it like that. And I really didn't find anyone that did it like that. So that's why I'm sharing that, because you know, maybe you're in that season too, where it's like it's the reason you're not taking a step in your business. You get to decide how you run your business, and like you're in full control. Like you don't have to do things a certain way just because other people have done it one way. So I hope that like gives you the permission that I needed. Okay. Need like a break, sip on my, this is actually pre-workout, don't judge me. I love the taste of this pre-workout. It doesn't have a lot of caffeine in it. I just drink it like purely because I like the taste of it. And then I also have my coffee that I drink throughout the day, and I actually drink decaf coffee just because I like to sip on coffee for like a good majority of my morning. I know that's probably not like good for you, but that's why I switched to decaf, so that I'm not consuming a bunch of caffeine all day long. So anyways, okay, so that is like a little bit of my background of like how I got started and where I'm at today. And now I want to share with you literally where I'm at today and like what I am working on this week, so that you can be a part of this with me in real time. So I just launched this fall lounge set in our shop, and to be completely honest with you, my launches are like hit or miss sometimes. Well, actually, I shouldn't say it like that. My launches like usually generate me some sales, but it's never anything like when I see other people who have apparel businesses and I like watch their YouTube videos and they talk about preparing for their launch and like all these things. Like, it's so inspiring to watch because it's like a lot of them will have people waiting on their website before they've even like launched the stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't wait till I get to that point where like there are people literally waiting at my door or waiting at my website, waiting for me to like make it live and put it back up for them to place their orders, and like the orders just like come through. But I will say, like, I did launch this lounge set and it was super cool because I basically announced it when I actually went to go get like a pedicure, and I was like, I really wanted to like manifest an order come through while I was getting a pedicure. I don't know, like it just felt like, oh, that's like high vibe energy right there. So I sent out like an email, not an email, I sent out a text announcement because I have a text list, which, by the way, if you want to join my text list, I'll leave in the description the number that you can text join to. And basically I send body positive reminders, self-love reminders a couple times a month. And then if we ever are doing launches or, if I ever like include, I always do like VIP discounts to my text list. You can join my text list and you can do it below. But anyways, I sent the text list while I was getting my pedicure, like basically announcing that the set was live. And I did get a sale while I was getting my pedicure, and it was so great because like it came through like shortly after I sent the announcement, which just, I don't know, like that feels really good that even if it's like one or two people that purchase it as soon as you announce it, it's like you kind of like have to allow yourself to feel that excitement and feel that high vibe energy, even if it's only two people, because like that's, I believe that's how you attract more of that in the future, and like you know what it feels like, so you kind of like lean into how that feels to attract more of it. So I was like, yes, like that's awesome. So even though it was like two sales like back to back, it was still something that I was super grateful for. And I did get some more sales. I think I got like 5 sales total for right after I launched, and I know there are other people who like really seem interested, so it could be something eventually that they order like down the road. But just to be transparent with you, that's how like my last 2 launches went. My last launch was back in August, and it was kind of like the same thing where I launched it and like a couple sales came through like within the hour that I launched it, which again like feels really amazing. And then it kind of like slowed down throughout the day. But I don't know, for me that's still enough for me. Like it just is so incredible to know that there are people out there who want to buy your designs and like kind of like are waiting for you to make them live. Like that's just such a rewarding feeling, because for me, like my launches, when I get an idea of like an apparel item that I want to put out there, it's like I kind of like will sit with it for a little bit, and then like I'll get to like designing and like trying out different things. So it's like a whole process of me making a vision come to life. So then, it's really rewarding when someone out there like wants to rep it for you and wants to purchase it and like buy it. Like for me, that's it's a really rewarding feeling even when the numbers aren't super high yet. Okay, now we have switched over to the coffee. I finished my other drink, so now I'm drinking my coffee, which it may look like I am in like cozy, like like I need to be in cozy clothes and it's very fall, but it's actually like 90 degrees outside right now. I'm in San Antonio and it's still very, very hot here, sadly. So, but we pretend like it's fall, feels like fall here. I launched my stuff this week and I am just waiting on receiving the items that people ordered, which they get here pretty quickly. And that's one thing that I'll usually do if like people place the orders for a launch. I'll like actually like order a couple of things to have like in stock, so then it like turns my shipping into free. So I mean, it does all work out when I do it that way. And once they get here, then I'm able to like work on everything all at once, which I'll make sure to record that process as well. But so yeah, that is where I'm at right now with the current launch that I just had. I actually have like some really cool things planned for 2025, and I don't know if you're a business owner, maybe you have felt this before, but like sometimes I'll go through these periods of like I just have ideas like pouring through me like so fast that I can't even like stop my brain quick enough to like write down the ideas. Like that's like where I'm at right now, where I just have all of these cool ideas that I want to integrate into my business. And my problem is like I need to slow down sometimes because I try to run before I can walk and then it just ends up like not really going how I wanted it to, because I just kind of like vomited up every idea that I had and just like tried to like throw it all together all at once. So I'm really trying to like make sure I take things slowly. Which like this vlog is one of the ideas. Like I've been wanting to like jump back on YouTube and actually like prioritize my YouTube channel for a long time now, and I just haven't because it just has always felt so overwhelming. And I even bought a camera off Amazon. This was like $100 camera. I did my research on it. It's definitely like a cheap camera, but it has good quality. And I read the reviews and they said the audio sucks on it, so make sure you buy a microphone. Well, now I'm running into issues where the audio is not working. So I'm like recording this vlog on my phone right now, which is fine. Like I don't mind recording it on my phone. My problem is I'm gonna run out of storage. I always run into that issue. I don't even know what I was really saying. But anyways, starting the vlog, I finally added my podcast to the YouTube channel, which I didn't even know you could do. I wanted to start recording video for my podcast and adding those to my YouTube channel as well. And I'm gonna see if I can add our most recent episode to my YouTube channel. I recorded it on my camera yesterday and on my phone, so I do the audio version on my phone, and then I was trying to record the video with audio on my camera, and I went to upload it and it didn't have any sound. So I don't know, I might see if I can like connect the two, but I don't know why it's not working. So I run into those sometimes, of course, as a business owner, and we just have to figure it out as we go. Some other things that I am like really wanting to implement into my business. So next year, I really want to host an in-person event. I'm trying to like write down ideas as they come to me. But one of the things that my husband and I want to do is, so currently right now we live in Texas, but we are from Nebraska, and we haven't lived in Nebraska, or I haven't lived in Nebraska for 4 years. It's been longer for him. And we really are looking to move back home to, of course, like be closer to family. And I don't know, like we're just like really missing it for some reason, which is weird because I used to like really not like Nebraska after I left. And now it's like all I think about and crave. So we really can't wait to go back home. But I'm really excited because I feel like this is almost like it's time for me to bring back the brand and the community that I am working to build within my business back to my home community, if that makes sense, and like bring it back and provide the resources and education that I wish I had had when I lived there and was growing up there. So it's kind of like a full circle moment for me of like feeling like, okay, this makes sense why I had to leave and go off and do things on my own and become who I was meant to become, because I was meant to return back and like bring back this need back to my community, and be that support for women in my community. So I am like really feeling called to host an event next year. So if you have never been to Nebraska, and you're like, yeah, that sounds like fun, which I will definitely share more as I get more ideas and start to plan more. But I'm thinking it's going to be in the spring, maybe like April, May time. And I want to invite like actual speakers to come. I have some women in mind that I plan to invite in as speakers. Like it's going to be a whole thing. And the idea of like, I want it to be about women allowing themselves to pour back into themselves when it comes to just like their health and their well-being and like their healing journey. So I want it to be like somewhat centered around that. I will leave it at that. There's definitely more I have to think about and plan for that. But that's coming in the future. And then the other thing that I really want to launch, and this is like something that I'm like, I want to launch it like right now, but again, I need to walk before I run. I really want to add in like this subscription into my business model, and I want it to be like super low cost. Like I'm talking like $8 to $10 a month for women who want to subscribe and receive basically love letters every single month. And what I mean by like love letters is you would receive in the mail like basically something that is almost like a reminder and something that you need to hear on a regular basis, but that like we don't hear on a regular basis, and just like need that reminder and need that love like poured back into us that maybe we aren't getting in our day-to-day life or we're not getting from ourselves. So I want to implement that into my business model. And of course, like I think what I would do is have it be on like a really pretty postcard size stationery basically, and then so you'd have the love letter on one side, and then the other side, I want to do something like creative with it, whether it's like a pretty saying or quote or something, and just like designed beautifully. So that's something that is potentially in the works, and you know, there's more that I would probably do with it. I'm just still coming up with the ideas for that. So I am really excited about that. I'm just not sure when to launch it yet. Of course, if I could launch it, I would have launched it yesterday. But I really want it to be like a successful thing and for people to be excited about it. So I just need to make sure from a business owner and like marketing standpoint that I make sure that I put some intention and strategy behind it to make sure that people want to do that. And yeah, like I just am loving all of the ideas that come to mind when it comes to building my community, and just like being that reminder and support for women that we are worthy regardless of what we look like on the outside. Our weight, our physical appearance has nothing to do with who we are as a person and our character and what we deserve basically. And that's really a lot of what my brand stands for, when it comes to just like how we show up in our health and our fitness journey and just overall life, is to give ourselves that permission that we deserve the things that we want. We are deserving of being happy, and we deserve to love our bodies regardless of what society tells us, of what fitness and diet industry tells us. So yeah, I am super excited for that. But I'm so grateful that you have watched this episode, or I don't know, do you call it an episode on YouTube? I want to continue doing them, and if there's anything that you specifically want to see behind the scenes, let me know. I work a 9-to-5 job. I also work a part-time job in the evenings, so I personal train in the evenings part-time, and that's like not my business. That's like I actually work for someone doing that. So I technically work 9 to 5, and then after that I usually work from like 5:30 to 8. I usually work Saturday mornings, and then I squeeze in my business stuff when I can. And of course, also prioritizing my fitness, my well-being. I would say my social life. I don't really have a social life because we live in a state where I just like don't know a lot of people. But I did recently join a community, like business for women, or women in business, that have like a community, and they do like certain events every single month. So I did join that just to find more connection and potential like collaborations with women, and just like be more involved in the community. So I am excited to be a part of that. But yeah, it's a lot to balance everything, and sometimes I'm kind of like, why am I working so many hours? But I will say it does really help being able to like invest that money, that extra money that I make, back into my business, and not feel super stressed about how I'm going to pay for certain things for my business and invest in things that I need for my business. So that's what keeps me holding on to that. And plus, I love working with my clients with personal training. I don't have a lot of personal training clients, but I have enough to where, I get feedback that is very rewarding. So that also is another reason why I like to do what I do, because it just feels like I am making impact with someone directly. And sometimes when you have an online business and you aren't like I'm not working with people one-on-one, sometimes it's hard to like feel the impact that you're making in someone's life. And I feel like right now personal training is something that gives me that rewarding feeling, like I am helping someone, and I'm helping them like view themselves in a more positive way, and just like being able to be like that positive light in someone's life. So yeah, let me know if there are things that you want to see with my life, whether it's like my fitness routine, more behind the scenes for business. Give me the ideas that I can use to put in my vlogs from now on, and I will do my best to do that. All right, I will talk to you later.